Good morning. This is Charlie Anteby. We're here with the Charlie in the Morning Show, and I'm happy to introduce and welcome my dear friend Hurdle Tawil on today's episode of the show. And we're going to go right to Hurdle, let him start to kick things off a little bit.
Good morning, Charlie. Oh, I'm really amazed to see all the changes here, Charlie. Is there something happening over here?
Thank you very much, Hurdle.
I mean, I see new equipment, lighting, studio enhancement, new personnel. What's happening here, Charlie?
Well, we waited for the holidays to wind down, and we made some big investments. We did the research, we did the planning, and now we made the moves. And we're going to take the show back up to a different and new level.
I'm hoping you're going to address some of the community problems, Charlie. Is that one of the on the agenda?
Yeah, I was going to say that I feel like the community deserves a first class program coming out of this office. Initially, in fact, my motto was first class media for a first class audience.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. But I hope you're not going to lose some of your personality and homespunness that I love, Charlie. I really do. I mean, because, once you get serious with, serious guests, and I'm considered a serious guest today, but otherwise, I'm sure we're going to get prominent people in the community, prominent politicians, prominent service people in the community, and this will be something that we can discuss community problems. But at the same time, we still want that personality to come through, Charlie.
Hurdle, I'll tell you, we did have a good history of various guests, including community leaders, innovators, rabbis, politicians, and we were very flattered to have them all on the show. At the same time, what we intend to do now is inject a lot more consistency to the show, which is going to affect the audience size in a positive way, so that we're giving them the size of viewership that they need and they're entitled to get their message across. So at the same time, I guess without this certain unquantifiable component that we're talking about, we wouldn't have got to level 1 to even bring it down to this next
I can
stage.
see that, Charlie. Charm is very important, personality is very important, but at the same time, there are important things to discuss in our community, and like you say, as being more consistent, you're going to get a more regular viewership, and it's going to attract more guests, and I see how worthwhile it is to reach the audience that's getting larger and larger as we speak, so I could understand what's going on. Go ahead, Charlie.
I'm going to tell you that one of the things I have learned over the course of the time that I'm doing all this, there are some very heated and hot-button topics out there.
I'm sure.
Tuition, the economy, politics, religion. That's just a handful of them.
I want to add a few to that, if you don't mind.
Please.
Drug problems in the community, gambling problems in the community, fighting between the ultra-Orthodox, the not conservative, God forbid I should say that, but the modern Orthodox. All these things should be addressed with the prominent people that can speak about it, that have an influence on the community.
Absolutely. So the difference, for example, is an interesting comparison. When we talk about drug problems, which I like to talk about very much, and when we talk about tuition, the difference is, of course, everybody's anti-drugs, but you're going to find two sides to the tuition debate. So when I get into the second category of a tuition type of item, I want to turn around and have somebody else do the talking. Let's hear what he has to say. I don't want to take the heat.
100%. That's your role. No, forget about the heat. Yeah. Your role is to bring out the guest information out to the public. And the only way you can do that is by taking a back seat and just asking the right questions. If you see the moderators on the debates, they ask the questions, they just monitor it, they keep it like a referee, but at the same time, they're not the news. It's the people that are in the... So your people, your guests, are going to inform the community, are going to help the community, and your job is just to facilitate it.
My mother, she reminds me when I was 4 years old, 5 years old, and then my whole life, she said, you couldn't get his attention when he was having a bowl of cereal because he would devour all the words on the box of cereal. He was reading the newspaper at the breakfast table since he was 6, 7 years old. And I was always a very intense reader, and still am today. And thank God for the Kindle. I love that machine. I love it. But what I'm going to say is not everybody is a reader. And email, some people get it, some people don't get it. Some people are overloaded, some people delete it. Direct mail, there's a process and a course that is just too difficult to
So
deal
this
with.
becomes a wonderful vehicle.
This is the vehicle of the future, the vehicle of the present, and we have one foot in the door already with it. And so we see the opportunity.
I'm
and the
excited.
possibility.
I'm excited.
Yes.
I see a lot of good things happening from this show, and I wish you a lot of luck. And in any way I could help, I'd like to be one of the prominent guests, Charlie.
Hurdle, I want to even, figure something out where we have, start to...
Well, we could start with one thing today. Make sure everybody votes, Charlie.
Yeah. But
I mean, you know how important it is to vote in our community.
what I'm saying, in other words, like they say, and here's Sylvia with the news, and here's Joanne with the weather, and here's Joe with the politics, and here's Howie with the sports report.
All in one show, Charlie?
What we want to try and do over the course of time is maybe introduce features of that caliber, because
I think it's a great
the community
idea.
has many interests,
I think it's a great
and
idea.
many people that are talented enough to deliver the information on those interests.
I think it's a great idea.
And one of the biggest things going on right now, if you know, is cooking.
Wow, that's right.
Between health
I noticed those
concerns.
pomegranates over there. Is that something that you wanted
This
to
is for
discuss?
my juggling act today.
Now you still have the personality, Charlie. That's what I'm talking about.
So you think they should all get out and vote? I'm not going to take the topic any further than that,
No, of course
because we
not.
don't want to get
No, of course
tomatoes
not.
thrown at us.
Romney. I mean, I didn't mean to stick that in.
Hurdle Tawil.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you for being on our premiere
I love it.
relaunch
Thank you.
episode. This is Charlie in the morning, and let us know if you want to talk to us about being a guest on the show, sponsorships, or anything else of importance, topics, etc.